Hey Internet, Eric here, and as you can see, I am not here alone. I am here with a guest that I've been wanting to get on for a long time, ever since I started doing these live stream interviews. Writer, director, and now documentarian, I guess you can say,
Mhm.
Mr. Adam Marcus. Adam, thank you for taking the time on a Sunday to just shoot the shit with me, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Eric. Yeah, no, dude, it's my pleasure, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I always like to start these interviews with how I came to know of my guest, and
hmm
I'm not going to go the usual. Well, I love Jason Goes to Hell. That's how I found out about you.
Hey,
Thank
I've never bothers me, but go for
you. I really came to know you. I guess we would say on a personal level is just through Facebook when I started on as a YouTuber, and
it.
Jason Goes to Hell was one of the films I defended. It is one of the movies I enjoy talking about, and I shared it in a Facebook group, and you actually responded. And I know what gave me the respect about you is you actually responded, and I know for a fact you watched the video. You know what I mean? Because you pointed out things I said. You said this was
Yep.
incorrect. That was correct.
Yeah.
So that's how I got to know you more on a personal level. And then, you know, shout out to Patrick. You know, he's interviewed you twice, and I've been
Mhm.
his wingman on it. So
Absolutely.
that's how I guess you would say this air quotes relationship came to
Uh-huh.
be. And again,
Absolutely,
I appreciate you being here, man.
dude. My pleasure. Look, it's funny. There's so many other directors that I talk to, even guys in the Friday group, who look, there's a lot of videos, there's a lot of interviews, there's a lot of stuff that people make about this material. God
Mm-hmm.
bless. Like, I love that people are inspired enough to want to talk about it and to want to make stuff. Because of the nature of Jason Goes to Hell, because it is so divisive,
Mm-hmm.
um, and because people get into so many fistfights about it. I mean, I try to stay away from the stuff that's really ugly. Like, there are fights that go on, and I'm like, I don't want to be involved in this,
Yeah.
because look, anybody who wants to, anyone who is so attached to these movies to the point where their life is somehow damaged by the movies, I can't help that person, because that person needs way more help than I can provide them. They just do, and I'm not being flippant about that. I
No,
mean,
you're not.
there is a serious mental health breakdown in our culture, and it hits the horror community pretty hard too,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
where people are, look, if somebody wishes me ass cancer because I made a movie,
Right.
um, that is not racist, that is not homophobic, that is not, um, uh, uh, you know, that isn't evil in its own construction, right? Someone
Mm-hmm.
who's evil, I get it.
Right.
This movie is created out of love, and out of a love for this franchise. And by the way, anyone who loves to say things like Adam never saw any movies in the front, okay, cut it out. I was on the set of the first movie, so
Right.
like, just cut it out. Like, I hate that shit. It's sort of like people who go, it's not canon. No, it's canon. It's
Yeah.
canon.
You got to
Sorry.
deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I love, well, they're not the Paramount movies. Oh, you mean it went to the studio that loved the genre rather than the studio that hated the genre and hates you,
Mm-hmm.
actively doesn't like the fans.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that somebody who gets that angry at me about this, they're not angry at me. They're not angry at this movie. They're just not. There's a mental health problem that needs to be dealt with, and a lot of times I can't help. I do try. I have tried to talk to people who are irrationally angry, and a lot of those people end up turning around, and some of those people actually go get help, and they're
Mm-hmm.
great. That said, I try to consume as much of the material that's out there as I possibly can,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want to be ignorant to it. I want to know how people feel. Look, if somebody hates the movie, God bless. I get it. Not your thing. I got it. I hate the movie Titanic. Hate
Mm-hmm.
it. Hate it. Does that mean I dislike somebody who likes it? No. No. It just means that it's not for me. And
Exactly.
so I totally understand someone not liking it. Opinion is what makes our industry great. And honestly, the negative opinions of Jason Goes to Hell is what's kept it really incredibly relevant, because there is a fight over it, which is always good. The controversy is great. Conflict moves all drama. Every
Mm-hmm.
movie I make, we spend a tremendous amount of time making sure there's lots of conflict. And
Right.
so, the movie staying in the conversation is fantastic. I just always want to know what people are saying. And here's the thing, to your video, to the point you're making earlier. Sorry, this is so long-winded. When you take the time to research, to do things in a way that is thoughtful, I feel it's upon me to take the time to watch it and to hear you, and to respond in a way that isn't, flippant, or that isn't reactionary, but that is, hey, listen, X, Y, and Z. I actually had to listen to. There was something the other day. I can't remember where it was. I wrote a note about it, but where someone reported, and it was an AI voice, which is so fucking annoying.
I hate, and AI is supposed to be super smart, and they can't even pronounce the words correctly and stuff.
Not
like
at all.
that.
Nobody's name is pronounced correctly. This thing said that Sean Cunningham was so dissatisfied with my performance that he fired me and shot the rest of the movie. This just couldn't be a bigger lie. And by the way, it's a lie that was perpetuated by Sean Cunningham. I know that for a fact. And he did it because, the movie was incredibly successful. We made tons of money, and he had very little to do with the creation of that movie as an idea, as a concept, as moving forward. He produced the movie, and he did an incredible job. He's a brilliant line producer. Sean Cunningham is, there's very few that are better. Okay. But he just wanted credit. So he stole it. He stole credit from me.
Yeah.
I didn't steal shit from him. I just kept bringing him money. I kept bringing him baskets of money. And his response to that was, I'm going to try to fuck this guy up. And he did, to some degree. He was successful to some degree. But when I read stuff like that, I just go, okay, you do understand that you're not talking about opinion, and you're not saying that Sean Cunningham said this. You're saying this is fact. By the way, when somebody says that, and I have verifiable proof that that's not true, that's a legal issue now.
Right. Yeah, it's slander. Yeah.
Oh, basically. Yeah. I mean, my management is right now trying to go after a number of people that have done stuff like that. And it's like, guys, that's over. Like, I'm done. And the documentary, the Hearts of Darkness Making the Final Friday.
Yes, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it addresses it. There's a whole section in the back on the disc that oh god, this disc is insane. There's a section about this very subject. And literally there's not one person in the cast or crew that remembers ever seeing Sean shoot anything, let alone shoot anything. But most of them don't even remember him being on set. But he's the guy who directed part of the movie. And to his estimate, he actually said 60% of the movie was directed by him.
See, that reminds me, it's like the whole Tobe Hooper, Steven Spielberg thing with Poltergeist. You know what I mean? That thing has grown into like this big urban legend now. And, it was until Tobe passed, poor Mick Garris, he had Caroline Williams on an episode of his podcast with Bill Moseley. And Mick was on the set of Poltergeist, and he had to say, because he didn't want, Toby's legacy torn apart even more now that he's gone. He's like, Tobe directed the movie. You can believe what you want. I was physically there. I don't know what he was just getting started in the business. Mick was. I don't know what he was actually doing. I don't know if he was just a helper, but he said Tobe was behind the camera. You guys have to quit believing everything you read, especially on the internet. Right.
So look, I give Sean his due. I always give the devil its due. When, as far as production, as far as the work that he did remarkable work on that movie. Remarkable. He also loved everything we were doing because he signed off on everything. He was the producer of the movie. So this idea that somehow I love when people are like, Adam Marcus is 100% responsible for this movie. Sean Cunningham directed 60% of it. What?
When? Yeah.
But those are diametrically opposed ideas, guys.
Yeah.
So it's it's obnoxious. But you know what? So is the rumor mill. So yeah. Anyway, but I'm glad we met through you being thoughtful and creating something that was really interesting. That I went, okay, I'm going to check this guy out.
Well, I appreciate that. And it's one thing that I always tell people, like, especially in the horror community. I've told a whole bunch of people. I'm like, I always quote Last House on the Left. It's only a movie. You know what I mean? It's only a movie. It's like when, when Halloween Ends came out. That's another polarizing thing in the horror community. You don't have to, wish death upon a person who enjoyed it because you thought it was fucking stupid, and vice versa.
That's
what I mean? That's what I always tell people. I said, I'm a champion of remakes. I always say remake everything. You know why?
Okay.
Because it doesn't affect the original. It's always going to be there.
Original's always there. You're 100% right.
What's the worst thing that can happen? You have wasted your time watching a movie for 90 minutes to 2 hours.
You're not wrong.
And then also, if you avoid it just because it is a remake, it might not be as good as the original. But you know what? You can, if you avoid it, you still might miss a good, entertaining movie. And that's how I look at it.
No doubt. Here's the problem with remakes, and it's where I come out of this thing from, because look,
please.
They've announced this Exorcist thing they're doing. I truly, and I love Mike Flanagan. I'm a fan. I think he's a lovely guy. I truly, the minute I saw it, I just wanted to call him and go, please don't. You're stepping on the third rail. You can't win.
Right.
It's not going to go well. So you can think you're the guy. You're not the guy. Paul Schrader wasn't the guy. Rennie Harlan wasn't the guy. John Borman wasn't the guy. Sure as shit, the last group of gentlemen that approached this material were not the guy. It is. You can't win. It's sort of like going, I'm going to redo Jaws. Are you?
It's a no-win situation.
How do you think it's going to go? Look, when there's a movie, okay, perfect example, Toxic Avenger. Great.
Loved it.
Remake that. Remake it, because here's the thing. Even though the first one is fantastic as a piece of cultural pop iconography, and it's gorgeous, like that movie is beautifully batshit, and the fact that it's so terribly made, and it's or cheaply made, let's not say terrible, that it's so cheaply made, it's a movie that isn't going to get hurt by someone taking another swing at it, right? They might make it better. They might make it more interesting. They might find new ways to play with it. That's fine. There are certain films that I go, you can't do it better. You can't make The Godfather better.
Back to the Future is another one that we
Perfect. Okay. There are certain films, do not remake the first Rocky. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Look, no one should have ever remade The Bad News Bears. Ever. It's an impossible movie to remake, especially given that they made it at a time where kids couldn't say booger-eating moron.
Yeah.
Like suddenly you couldn't say all the shit that they said. And I'm not going to say the stuff that they're not allowed to say because I don't want to get fucking canceled.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's kind of, in a lack of a better term, they kind of, they neutered the Tanner Boyle character. That's the main reason.
100%.
As a kid, I liked it because he was just this little asshole prick that I wish I could be, and not have any consequences. And they did it in a smart way, a funny way, because it fit the character.
100%. But
you can't have that now.
It's not just that. So that's the first part of my argument against sequels, is that like when you remake great movies, because that's the ones that have the great IP,
right?
You're gonna fuck yourself. The other thing, of course, the studios are never gonna listen to this. Because all of this is a cash grab. And I understand the cash grab. I got it. I understand that part. But here's the bigger problem. We have fed an audience that the only thing they're allowed to eat anymore is McDonald's. And I don't mean that in garbage food. That's not what I mean. I mean, we have taught an audience that if it doesn't have a long list of movies attached to it, it's not good enough. If it's not this huge piece of IP, it's not good enough. This is a giant mistake that our industry has made with our audience, because what we've done is we've trained our audience not to see original content. We are killing, forget our industry, forget that. We're killing the art of storytelling because we are not telling original stories. Look, I got to tell you something. You want to know the best thing you can do with Friday the 13th and Halloween and Texas Chainsaw and all of it? Put it away. Put it away. Let it be what it is. Let it live on the shelf as these are glorious, glorious movies. I gotta be honest with you. Look, the Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. It's a beautiful movie. Man, is it beautiful. Do we really need another fucking Frankenstein movie?
No.
Right. you get to a point. Look, vampire movies. Let's have them. Let's have more vampire movies. Let's not have any more Dracula or Nosferatu. I watched Nosferatu and I went, I've seen this movie 6 times. In great versions.
And that's one thing I was actually gonna bring up, because you're pretty much fresh out of NYU, and we're talking about like pressures with remakes and stuff like that. How did you at that time, being super young, when you're handed, Jason Goes to Hell 8 movies before it, how much pressure did you feel because you had to make a good movie? You know what I mean? Or bring in the kids and.
Here's the thing. I think if you chase making a good movie, like in that idea, like, oh, I've got to make a good movie, otherwise people are going to be, X, Y, or Z, or I have to make a movie that's okay for them to enjoy, so I don't get beat up at some point. You're doomed. You do that, you're doomed. Because first off, you're making a movie for other people. Don't make movies for other people. Don't do that. You have to make the movie for who you are as an artist at that time. You have, and I know that sounds so fucking pretentious. It's meant truly as, if you're not honest and true to yourself as a person who is telling a story, you will end up with mush. Tobe Hooper wasn't concerned about people's fucking feelings when he made the original Texas Chainsaw. And I can tell you, you would have a tough time showing me a better or more horrifying feature film than that movie. It is about as good as it gets when it comes to like raw, I don't give a fuck, I'm going to scare the hell out of you. Jonathan Demme wasn't concerned about people's opinions when he made Silence of the Lambs. He just made a movie that he wanted to make. He told the story he was compelled to tell. If you go at it that way, look, I felt zero pressure. Zero pressure when I made Jason Goes to Hell. Walking into it, look, getting rid of the hockey mask sucked. And that was the first thing I was told. And I was like, okay. But after 45 minutes of digesting, like, okay, that's what it is to be. Like, that's the job. Okay, I'm going to go do that. Then it was, how do I tell a story that's really interesting given those parameters? When I got to set the first day, it's terrifying. It's terrifying. I never let anybody know that it was terrifying, but it was terrifying. Of course, there's pressure. That had nothing to do with making a good movie. That had to do with me not making an ass of myself. But bro, no, making movies. Yes, you want to satisfy your audience. Of course you do. That's the whole point of what you're doing. But if that's the thought in your mind, you're going to constantly trip over that thought, and you're going to constantly second guess yourself. And that's the worst. If you look, there's a lot of directors that are called pricks. This is male or female, or anything in between. And those people are called pricks because, they had a vision and fuck you, and this is what it's going to be, and I don't care what you have to say, yada, 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 yada. Right. Okay. I don't think you have to be a prick to do that. Ron Howard, right? Nice guy in the world. I worked for Ron for 2.5 years.
Okay.
Doing TV. It was fantastic. With Imagine. And he's gentle and smart and lovely and very, very strong in his opinion, but he never beats you up about it. Right. So there's a way not to be a prick and still be that person, right? Bob Zemeckis, right? No one ever calls him a prick. He is like an automaton. Like he's just there's like this weird sort of guy who's very much like almost like he's a computer. There are people out there that David Fincher, right? You don't hear he's a prick. You just hear you better be ready for 65 takes. Yeah, because he's gonna do it because he has a very specific idea of what this thing's gonna look like. Stanley Kubrick, prick. Prick, not a nice man. Sorry, like there's too many people who got hurt by this guy. That said, he left us with some really remarkable pieces of cinema because he wasn't concerned about what everybody else thought. So yeah, if you're gonna tell stories, you got to go tell the story you want to tell. And look. That also means you better be prepared to get your ass handed to you. Look, when I made Secret Santa a few years back,
Yes.
I made that movie in response to having been mistreated and mishandled by an industry that, look, God bless, they pay you a lot of money, and that's awesome. So always happy to cash the check. But they're not interested in you being an artist. They don't give a fuck about that. They're interested in what's their bottom line. And by the way, I'm not talking about producers. That's a big mistake. Everybody always calls it the producers. We're talking about money. The people with the money, whether that's independent financing or whether that's a studio, they don't care about you as an artist. That's not their interest. They care about you as a profit source. When it comes to producers, a great producer knows, okay, I got to deal with the profit source. Like I got to deal with the profit machine. I got to deal with the studio. I got to deal with financiers. Great. I also have to deal with an artist who is desperate to make something good that I believe in, because that producer either hired that director or was partners with that director or whatever, So that producer has the Herculean task of serving both masters, right? That said, the best producers I've had are the ones who tell the studio, he's doing great. He'll be fine. Thanks.
Click. That's it. Yeah.
Right. Or I had one producer. I was doing a remake of I Walked with a Zombie for Arcade Pictures. And there were 19 producers on the movie.
Good
19.
Lord.
19. Yeah. Yes. And all of them had different opinion notes, like in every direction. It was like we would get these notes and it'd be like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? Like, I don't even know how to decipher this, because one tells me one way, the other tells me the exactly diametrically opposed way.
And you don't know who to please when that happens.
The lead producer said to me, fuck all these notes. I'm going to go back and I'm going to deal with the 19 other people. And I will bring you a condensed list of the things that you should consider. Great. By the way, I had to do 32 rewrites on that movie. 32. And here's what's horrifying. The 32nd rewrite looks almost identical to the original.
Yeah. It's like the whole, you're getting married. The wife always picks the first dress she wears. It's like the one of that.
You know what's awesome? Dude, you know what's awesome? My wife saw one dress that she fell in love with, and that was it.
Really?
Yeah. But that's why I married her.
I think my wife was settled after like 3. She decided like after third one.
Dude, that's not bad at all.
She did pick the first one.
Right. Right. Because again, your brain makes a very sharp decision of that's it. That's the way to go. By the way, it might not be the way to go for any other human being, but for you it is. And if you look, the other part of this, I tell everybody, because I do a lot of lecturing at colleges and things like that about filmmaking, and also at conventions and stuff when I do panels and whatnot. If I had this, there's my sweetie. If I had this when I was a kid, oh God, I mean, I never would have stopped making movies. Never. There would. I mean, I wouldn't have gone to school. I mean, I just would have just done that forever. So you've got this incredible studio, a movie studio in your pocket, right? Which now, dude, I literally just bought cinema lenses for this. I don't mean some knockoff, buy-off brand. I mean like full-size lenses that attach to this phone. Okay. Yeah. You can shoot, write, edit, do your effects, and distribute your movie on that.
Jeez.
Everything. You can write your music on that. You can do all of it. All on your phone. On a little tiny thing that sticks in your pocket. Okay? But here's the thing. You remember the year that Blair Witch came out?
Yeah.
It was a huge hit at Sundance, like a big fucking deal at Sundance. A midnight movie, right? It was this huge, amazing thing. The year after that movie came out, Sundance had 1,000 times more movies submitted.
Really?
Yeah. Because here's the problem. I mean, by the way, I didn't mean 1,000 times. It was less than that. But they went from, I think they had told me it was like they'd gotten, 1,500 movies, and suddenly they had 15,000 movies. So it's about 1,000%. The problem is that everybody thinks they're going to, because they can do it, they're going to be brilliant, right? They're just going to make great films. The dividing line for filmmakers is not the technology anymore. That's done. That's gone. The dream that Francis Ford Coppola had about the egalitarianism of filmmaking, that everybody should get a chance to make films, that's here now. That's here. Yeah. YouTube is perfect evidence of that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But like Jeff Goldblum said, we were so busy thinking, could we do it? We didn't think about if we should
do it.
And here's the thing, filmmaking is about talent. Ultimately, it's no different than writing or painting or any of the other arts, dancing, playing music. There's a shit ton of sophomore guys in college who have a fucking guitar and play for the girl that ends up with them for a semester and then realizes he's an idiot with a guitar. Who says they're going to be, they're the next Bono. No, they're not.
Right.
No, they're not. Everybody says how fucking brilliant they are when you're in your garage. When you go into the main stage, when you go to sell your wares, right? That's where you see, like, oh, there are people who are really good at this. And it's why I encourage every young filmmaker, make movies and keep making movies. And by the way, the first 10 movies you make are going to be dog shit, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks their first film is going to be this thing that's a juggernaut. No, stop. No. I went to NYU Film School, and I made 18 movies in 3.5 years. Okay. Shot on film, by the way. We're not talking about, and that I had to pay a lot of money to make. Most of those movies, I would, if I watch them today, I want to crawl under a rock and die. I'm like, oh, are these terrible?
Bro, I'm the same way when I go back to like my early YouTube videos. I'm like, ooh, man. I mean, I know I don't like to write down bullet points, but God, you can tell I wasn't comfortable in front of the camera. And then it took a good year or so before I stopped really giving a shit and just letting it flow.
This is the thing. No one wants to have a learning curve anymore.
Right.
Look, they say it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert in anything. Okay. You have to apply that craft for 10,000 hours before you get great. Okay. That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time. When my actors start working with me, especially young people, when somebody's in their late teens and they want to study with me, I say to them, listen, there's only one acting guru out there as far as like the method and things like that I have any real connection to, which is Sandy Meisner. Okay. Sandy Meisner says it takes 20 years to become an expert. 20 years. 20 years. That's a long time. By the way,
that's a long commitment.
Yeah. I started working in film at 11 years old.
I read that, and it was what was it? You went and you saw Star Wars, and I think you were sitting next to your dad, and then that opening, was it the opening scene with the
opening shot?
Yeah, and you said, I want to do that, and he responded by, oh, you want to be an astronaut?
Because I was 9. Because I was 9. And I was like, no, I want to make that.
And you started making animated movies, I think I read.
Immediately started making animated movies. I did all these claymation movies. And when I saw the movie Heavy Metal and I got the soundtrack to the movie, oh, dude, like all I did was make like animated character. I had a Captain Stern doll that I created out of clay that, and I mean, it was, again, like you should, as a young person, you ape other people's stuff. You keep trying to, do these impressions of what other people are doing. And that's how you learn. Look, I gotta tell you, the first time I showed my mom a Super 8 movie that I had animated, my mother, is a true story. I'm gonna tell you something that years of therapy will never fix. A true story.
Sure.
So when I was 9 years old, right? 9 years old, I had seen Star Wars. And I, even back then I drew all the time. I was constantly drawing.
Yes. And
so I drew this really pretty good for a 9-year-old reproduction of the Star Wars poster.
Okay.
Right? The original, the Hildebrand poster.
Yeah.
And I was really proud of it. And I spent days and days on it, like just getting it all right. And it was pencil. I didn't color it. It was just pencil. But it was really like, I felt a connection with this thing and I really spent time. And I brought it into my mom.
Uh-oh.
And I showed it to her. I said, Mom, what do you think? And my mom turned and looked at it and she said, oh, it's very nice. And I said, it's just nice.
Mm-hmm.
And her response to me was, oh, for God's sakes, Adam, you bring me a fucking masterpiece every day of the week. What am I supposed to do? Backflips?
No.
Now, that's the woman we're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm 11. I show her the first animated film because it took me almost a year to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And I, clicking shot by shot by shot by shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
My mom, I've never seen the expression on her face from or since. She simply couldn't believe, like I had done some magic trick.
Wow. Yeah.
And she just was like, oh my God, you did this? She had no idea I was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even though there was a set in my bedroom that I built with the camera locked and everything.
Right.
There is something magical about, especially for animation. People just can't. It's so funny. People really, and by the way, claymation more than cell animation, which I find amazing because cell animation is so much harder.
Mm-hmm.
When you do something with a physical object that can't move and suddenly it's alive and it's moving and it's doing. My mom simply couldn't believe I created this. She couldn't fucking believe it.
Yeah.
And there is such joy in that as a filmmaker. And so for an 11-year-old me, I was on my path. Like that was it. By the way, I didn't just make movies because like that was one of the things I was doing. It was one of the things I was inspired by. From the time I was 9 years old, I read everything I could get my hands on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything, every magazine, every book, everything. By 11, I was already studying theater. I was studying dance. I was in acting classes. I was doing plays already. I was working in the tech booth at the local high school, and I'm 11 years old. I went and put myself in a position to go, no, I want this and I want to learn. I want to learn how to do this because it's real easy to say, I want to do it. That's great. We all want to do it. But are you willing to spend the 10,000 hours?
Yeah. Put in the time.
Right. Yeah. So by the time I got to Los Angeles, by the time I'm in Cunningham Productions at just 21, I had already either produced, directed, starred in, or choreographed over 75 productions, full scale production. We're not talking small stuff, giant in a 1,400 seat theater.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where I started, and I was committed to that entirely. That commitment never wavered. So on top of the fact that I was making movies on the weekends with my friends, I was shooting animated stuff in my house. So when people always like to go, nepotism. First off, nepotism, there's no nepotism. I was friends with the guy's son. How is that nepotism? Right.
Exactly.
I love when people call me a Nepo baby. I'm like, fuck off. Like, I wasn't born into anything, you idiots.
Right. My mom hated my picture, remember?
Exactly. Look, and my mother was a brilliant singer. Her mother was an incredible singer. And I mean, they were paid. They were professional singers.
Right. Okay.
My mother used to tour the world. My Uncle Joe was, made Don't Go in the House. He wrote, produced, and directed that movie. My Uncle Ned is, remarkable journeyman actor who, for horror fans, is Eddie in The Burning. That's Ned Eisenberg. Yeah.
Very cool.
And so I had this, I had a lot of arts around me, but none of that shit got me a job. Like this.
I know. Well, that's what I was just thinking. Your mom hated your picture and your dad thought you wanted to be an astronaut. There's nepotism for you, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's a great conversation. I mean, it reminds me of when you said, like you said, with like an artist wants their vision, it immediately made me think of Corley Fargette and The Substance. They wanted her to cut the entire finale.
Yep.
And people can, it's some people love the finale, some people hate it. It is what it is, because it's so over the top.
It's so over the top. Well, because the movie changes tone.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. But I respect her. First, you don't see, at least in my circle, a lot of female horror directors.
Well, or more importantly, female body horror directors. That's exactly for sure.
Yeah. And this is her second film, I believe.
Second feature. It's her second after Revenge.
She literally had, again, second feature, female, and she had the balls to tell that production company, no, I'm not cutting it. So she found, I think it's Mubi is what it's called. And
Mubi. M-U-B-I. Yep.
And it's a good thing because look at all the nominations, the awards, and that goes right to your story there.
By the way, I tried to hire Coralie right after she did Revenge. She and I were on tour for a year because Secret Santa and Revenge came out at the same time, and we offered her our movie Fat Camp Massacre, which is very female forward, but also does for people of size what Get Out does for people of color, and it's tremendous movie. We sent her the script and she went, I'm so sorry. I'm only doing stuff that I write. And I was like, God bless you. All good. I get it. Like, good for you, but I got to tell you, have you seen Revenge?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I don't know if it's an assault revenge movie and I'm kind of iffy on those.
Wait, let me tell you something. Okay. Put it to the top of your list.
Okay.
It is one of the most audacious, remarkable movies I've ever seen from a first-time filmmaker.
Okay.
It is forget that it's a woman directing the movie. It doesn't feel like it's a man, a woman, or anything. It feels like somebody who understands cinema in a way that is so brutal and unforgiving. It is dude, it is what every person who tries to tell that story wish they could have told, and in that way.
Oh, wow.
The acting is unbelievable. The cinematography is some of the best I've ever seen. Just the color grading on the movie, you're like, okay, who the hell is this person? I fell madly in love with her work the moment I watched that movie. Knocked me the fuck out. And I was there for my movie. I wasn't there for her movie. I was there for mine. And I'm sitting there watching her movie going, oh my fucking God. And she did it for very little money and unapologetic. And it is a taint punch, that movie.
Yeah.
She is just ferocious. For me, it's a far more successful movie than The Substance. And I like The Substance a lot. But Revenge is a different fucking animal, man. It's incredible.
You know what? Let's go to. I did some homework the last time you and I were together.
Well, dude, you knew quotes from my fucking childhood, so well done.
Well, the last time we were together with Patrick, I talked about how you were in the In Search of Darkness documentaries, and you specifically talked about a movie, and I said I hadn't seen it, but I put it in my queue on Tubi, and you said I would fall in love with it, and it was Delicatessen. I just fucking finished it, literally maybe an hour before you and I went live. First off, I fell in love with the way the color was. Ooh. You know what I mean? Ooh. Oh, it looks so pretty and dirty and disgusting at the same time.
Yep.
And it was just one of those movies that I don't know where it's gonna go. And even though the plot is about, it's there's no food everywhere, everyone's starving. The butcher brings in the new maintenance man. He ends up, carving them up, serving them to the town that knows what they're eating.
They know. They absolutely
for steaks and stuff.
Yep.
That's the plot. That's not what most of the movie is about. It's all these different quirky characters that live in the apartment complex. You have the poor lady who, I'm not going to spoil it because, for people who are listening or watching, the poor lady who thinks she's hearing voices.
Right.
And it's driving her nuts and she's trying to end it. And that's when the comedy comes in, because every time she tries to, with these Rube Goldberg type fucking ways to end it, it just goes wrong.
Did you ever see the trailer for the film?
No, I went in completely blind. All I've seen is what was
here's what's incredible. The trailer for the movie. The trailer for the movie that they showed in theaters is just the scene where they are bouncing on the bed and he's painting the ceiling and everybody's moving in conjunction. Yes. It becomes this symphony. That's it. That's the whole trailer for the movie. They showed you nothing else. And I saw that trailer. I was at some foreign film in LA. My wife and I saw that trailer. It's like, oh, how quickly can we get to that movie? And dude, I mean, you talk about an audacious first movie. Oh my God. I mean,
that movie, the use of sound and music, like the scene you're talking about, you have a couple having sex in bed and you see the bed springs, but then it cuts to the two gentlemen who are making that noise maker.
Yep.
And then you have the guy painting, and then the girl that's hitting the carpet. And then as the lovemaking intensifying, they're intensifying. And then when the guy finishes, that's when the guy falls off the ladder. And it sets the tone of this dark movie. It's a perfect mixture of comedy. Like I said, with the Rube Goldberg stuff, she's trying to end her life. So she's sitting in this bathtub filling with water. And she's got a towel that is somehow hooked to the doorbell. So every time it gets rung, the towel moves and it's going to have a lamp fall in the tub. And the poor lady, something happens and it's unplugged because the walls are so thin. So somebody falls against the wall and it unplugs the lamp just as it. That's great. And that's what I like. That's smart writing because a lot of thought has to be put into because it's comedy. And comedy is all subjective, some people like dialogue, some people like toilet humor.
By the way,
that joke work.
You're gonna see in the film that I'm making right now, a movie called How to Survive a Game Night, which I'm doing sort of Secret Santa style. You will see a nod to Delicatessen, a very heavy nod. We're doing our opening titles almost the exact same way as the opening titles of Delicatessen.
I love that.
Yeah. So I'm working with Declan Boyle out of Ireland, who's my titles guy now, and he's also my VFX supervisor. He's a fucking brilliant dude. So we're building an opening sequence for the movie that is all dedicated to Delicatessen. I watch that opening constantly just so that I know how to construct it. Those guys are, and look, when you look at the filmmaking that they went on to do, City of Lost Children, Amelie. Alien 4, which a lot of people hate that movie. I love that fucking movie.
And they had the same actor, the guy who was the clown.
Pignon. He is Dominique Pignon.
Yeah, and he's the character in the wheelchair in Alien Resurrection.
Yep. He's also, if you've ever seen an incredible French movie called Diva from 1981, I think it is. He is the lead villain of that movie, and that's sort of when he became a little bit famous because he was the poster. He's the poster of the film. That's a fantastic movie, by the way. Diva's fantastic. It's very romantic, but it is a thriller, and it's terrific. Terrific film.
I'm so glad because it was one of those things. I'm doing a little research. What can I talk about Adam stuff with? And we're going to talk the documentary. We're going to talk Jason Goes to Hell and all that. Sure. I'm like, oh shit, he told me to watch this movie. The last time, and it's great. It's 90 minutes, but the flow. There's no boring parts.
My God! These
weird kooky characters. You got the guy living in the basement with the frogs, and oh my!
But you know what? Look, that I think this happens when especially I say this all the time about genre fans. So the reason why I think genre fans are the most cinematically literate fans. I will meet a lot of people who go, I just don't like horror movies. It's scary. The minute someone says that to me, I look at them with so much suspect. I go, really? Okay. So I can tell you just eliminated 2/3 of all movies ever made from your diet because it's not just horror movies. That means they don't like thrillers. That there's a ton of stuff that they. I don't know. These are the same people that will watch fucking murder documentaries on Netflix for 2 weeks, without leaving the house. But a horror movie, okay.
Too scary.
I always go. Listen, you don't have to watch Terrifier. You don't have to be like a gorehound. You can just. There are great horror movies that have nothing to. How about The Witch?
Yeah.
Watch The Witch. Right? There's a ton of stuff. Here's the thing. What I love about horror audience, if you ask a horror audience Yeah, but do you like The Notebook? They're like, oh yeah, I saw The Notebook. It's great. They don't cut out the sweet stuff because they like the spicy stuff. They want all of it, right?
Yeah.
You say to them, oh, what do you think of Will Ferrell movies? I love Will Ferrell movies. You know, what do you think of Richard Linklater movies? Well, they're fucking great. There's no prejudice against that stuff. I'm not saying that we don't have prejudice people in our genre, in our
I get you.
We do. But I mean, they are always more film literate. The one area that seems to, and again, it's simply an American thing. It has nothing to do with our fandom. When you ask people about foreign movies, they just look at you with such blank dumbness. And they go, you're missing literally a whole world of storytelling. Yes. That is so, like, you know, I sit there and go, but you like Quentin Tarantino movies. You haven't seen any fucking foreign films, but you like Quentin movies. If you like Quentin movies, he's literally been stealing. Stealing. I don't mean borrowing. I don't mean homage. Stealing from foreign films his entire career. God bless him. Well done. Smart. Yeah. Okay. He's been doing this to such great advantage because nobody in America knows any of these movies.
Exactly.
And I'm like, go out there, look at the stuff that's out there. Look, honestly, you know, if David Cronenberg hadn't had exactly the history he had, we wouldn't have seen any of his films. He's Canadian. We wouldn't have known he exists. And this is a guy working in English. We wouldn't know. Yeah. You know?
That's why I tell a lot of my friends that are in the horror community, I said, God bless you if you love like your stuff. Like if you love slashers, stick with slashers. But if you're just focusing on like Michael Myers and Ghostface, you're missing this over here.
Oh my God.
You're missing this over here. That's why I do a live stream podcast with my friend Melissa, and she is a horror newbie. So I'm bringing her in.
That's great, though. That's great. That's great. Good for you.
You know, and the thing is, you know, our second film, Train to Busan. You gotta fucking read it because I always tell shout out to my buddy Mike. He always says watch it in the original language because you get more of the emotion.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
and
dude,
she
100%.
She was texting me and she says, I can't finish this. It's too late at night and I'm by myself. If you guys like, I understand like if your eyesight is bad, it's hard to read subtitles. I understand that, but if you're just kind of like stick in the mud, like I won't read a film, then you're missing so much. I would have missed Delicatessen.
Exactly.
Train to Busan. It was fucking fantastic. I cried at the end. Look, if people haven't seen it.
I was very lucky in that, and I really do mean this. Look, my parents were so steeped in art culture, right? My father's an artist. He's a physical artist, but also he was an interior designer and space planner in Manhattan. And so art was very important to him. My mother, her whole life was, you know, my mom worked for Rod Serling at Famous Artists. She's a story editor for him. You know, my family is steeped in it. My grandmother dated Ira Levin. So there was a love for things that were artistic. I, as a kid, saw as many foreign films as I saw American films. Just did. You know, I actually saw Berlin Alexanderplatz in its full 18.5-hour version as a teenager. Like we had a lunch break and dinner break. I mean, it was crazy, you know. There was a Fanny and Alexander, which is a 4.5-hour Ingmar Bergman movie that is incredible and so fucking entertaining that people don't know exist. You know, if you're not giving yourself over to a little bit of that, yes, every once in a while, a La Femme Nikita comes out. Well, La Femme Nikita is a French response to American filmmaking. By the way, it does it better than almost all of our movies. But if that's the only place you're going to look, you're going to miss so much. There was an incredible movie, great movie. I'm going to bring this up because nobody knows it exists. There was a film that Luc Besson was the producer of. He didn't direct it, he produced it, called Yamakasi.
Okay.
It is the first real parkour movie in France. And it is about a bunch of teenagers. And it's a thriller. And it's in the world of parkour. Okay. So you're watching people do some shit that you're like, what the fuck? And it's all real. There's no effects handling any of this. It is just, it's not stunt people. These are young people doing parkour. I to this day, I have never had an experience like this movie. I just feel like it's completely singular, and it's a well done film. The acting is a little off because it's a lot of kids that's what they do.
Sure.
But you're missing out on so many incredible pieces of filmmaking and storytelling and cool stories. Look, when horror fans are like, oh, there's not enough out there, I'm like, man, just open up France in the mid 90s to the mid 2000s. You're going to see so many fucking horror movies that literally make our stuff look so tame.
Mm-hmm.
We don't make a movie like Martyrs in this country. We make a remake of Martyrs and neuter the fuck out of it. We'll do that. Inside is one of my all-time favorite films, full stop.
I made the mistake. It's a fantastic movie. I love it. I made the mistake of watching that 3 months after becoming a dad.
Oh, dude.
Fuck that.
By the way, I mean, we showed that every Halloween we do like a movie marathon for my students and for my friends. And so we'll do themes and we'll do whatnot. One year we ended with Inside. No one in the room had seen it. Oh no. It was like someone set off a grenade in the room. We got to the end of that movie and people were just, it was funny. I think the last movie ended at about midnight. Mm-hmm. Nobody left my house till 3 a.m.
Wow.
Because they had to decompress and talk and like laugh and have some, because it is so fucking nihilistic and brutal and fuck you, man. Like, I don't care if you're in a good mood. We're going to take all that away.
We're going to ruin your day.
We really are. We're going to ruin your day. And by the way, with two of the finest actors to ever work in France, not horror actors. Mm-hmm. I mean, when Patrice Dalle decides to do your Christmas Eve obliteration movie, when the woman who played Betty Blue in the movie Betty Blue says yes to a movie like that, you have to go like that's like Sandra Bullock going, I'm going to do that movie. Mm-hmm. That's like Meryl Streep going, I'm going to do that film.
Yeah.
No one in America will do that.
Something's up. You know, if she wants to do something like that, someone elegant like Meryl Streep or something like that wants to do that type of home invasion movie. You know what I mean? There's like, people have never seen it. People haven't seen it. This isn't Hush. This isn't The Strangers. It's going to ruin your day.
Yeah. And it is ostensibly a 2-character film. It's those two women against each other. There's other people in the movie, but they're superfluous. There are 2 women in that movie. You talk about a film that promotes, forget about feminism. It basically says women should never be excluded from any kind of character, any kind of movie. Mm-hmm. It announces, like, anyone who thinks that this stuff can't play as well as it needs to play because a woman is in it, fuck you, watch Inside. Yeah. It's dude, but and again, by the way, their first movie. Yeah, it's their first film. Come on.
Yeah, and because I'm trying to take Melissa through the different genres. We started with body horror, and then we did Train to Busan, which was zombies. We did it's multiple genres, but I put it in Stephen King. We did Carrie. That was the first time she ever saw De Palma's Carrie. And then yesterday. We've done some cheesy ones too. Just last night we did I did Technology Gone Bad, so we did Chopping Mall. So our next time getting together, we're going back to foreign. We're doing found footage. We're doing REC. REC. I can't wait. I told her that's the only one movie I watched in the dark, and I'd never seen it before. I was watching it in the dark. First time saw it a handful of years ago. I'm in the living room, and the wife doesn't want to watch scary movies. She's in the bedroom, and that finale, I'm yelling and screaming at the TV because shit's happening. My wife literally yells, "Eric, you okay?" It's just scary movie stuff, baby. I'm fine. But that was a fantastic movie. By the way, open your horizons to foreign films.
If you want to watch something really fucking cool, just came in my head. If you do anything about home invasion, if you do a home invasion series, there's a French movie called ILS. ILS.
Okay.
It translates to they.
Okay.
Again, mid 2000s. Dude, it makes The Strangers look like it's a kiddie movie.
Oh, wow.
And by the way, the stranger steals from it heavily.
Okay.
Heavily. The ending of They is quite possibly one of the most upsetting endings I've ever witnessed. And this is from the guy who just talked about Inside. It is so brilliantly done. And by the way, not a gore fest at all. At all. It's not what they're interested in. They are interested in actually getting under your skin and scaring the shit out of you. Great film. Yeah, I think you'll love it. You'll totally dig it.
Well, we were just talking about strong females and stuff. I got a question from Tony. He says,
good.
what are your thoughts on strong female characters in movies and TV shows, and what your experience is on writing women in your movies?
I love that. I love that. Is Tony a guy or a girl?
He spells it with a Y, or they spell it with a Y.
So they spell it with a Y, so I'm not sure. Okay. Well, here's the thing. For most of my career, I've had a writing partner. And the person that I've been partnered with the longest and for the most films is my wife, Deborah, who is brilliant. The thing about why I work in partners, why I like writing with a partner, right? And I've done a number of things on my own, but I really do love working with a partner, especially a woman.
Okay.
Is that one, we challenge each other, especially when it comes to gender. So, and by the way, that's not even something that's said out loud. It's just what happens because we are different genders. Okay. Her view of the world is so completely different than my view of the world simply by our gender. I tend to write better women than she does, and she tends to write better men.
Oh, wow.
But by the way, it's because we listen when the other gender is talking. A ton of my best friendships in my lifetime have been with women. When I was a kid, dude, I was 11 years old. Right? I'm 11 years old and I wanted to know how to dance. I wanted to learn how to dance. Okay. The reason I wanted to learn how to dance is because I had seen Saturday Night Fever and my Uncle Ned had shown. My Uncle Ned was an incredible dancer and he showed me how to do a bunch of the shit that John Travolta did in the movie. Right. So I really wanted to learn how to dance. I went down to there was a place called the Canterbury Center in Westport, Connecticut. And my family had no money. We didn't have any money for dance lessons. I go down to the Canterbury Center and I walk in, I'm 11 years old and I say, hey, I want to take lessons, but I don't have any money. I had such balls. And they looked at me and they went, how strong are you? I said, how strong do you need me to be? They said, can you lift girls your age? I was like, sure. They said, great, you're in. And they gave me free lessons. Because there were no boys.
Yeah.
So here was this kid who walked in who could lift, right? Now, by the way, the only reason all of this went down was because I wanted to be close to girls. Because I thought girls were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They were way more I couldn't have cared less about sports ball. I played baseball as a kid. I couldn't care less. Right. I liked girls, man. And so when women speak, when women emote, when they have what goes on in their experience, I'm so much more interested in it. One, because I don't have that experience, right? So I'm much more in love with listening to that. So it makes me more sensitive to writing because it's what I know. That said, look, every film I've ever written has been about strong women. I don't write about weak women. I can't do it. It's impossible for me. Including Jason Goes to Hell at all. More importantly, there was a period of my life that I had a film called Gravity that Deborah and I had written. A movie called Gravity that was on the Blacklist. And for your viewers, if they don't know what the Blacklist is, it's not the James Spader television show, which is terrific, by the way. It's a list in our industry of the best films, best scripts that have not been made into a movie. Okay. It's compiled by the Development Society of our town. So all the people who work in all the D people, all the people who work in development in the industry, they have these lists, these chat boards. And so when you send a script out, usually it'll go out to 50 different people in one day. And they all talk about it. To get a script on the Blacklist. The Blacklist is this short list of the best movies not produced. To get one is a fucking extraordinary feat.
Mm-hmm.
I've had 2.
Oh, wow.
So one of those movies was called, by the way, one was called Black Autumn, which still sits on a shelf at Fox. I've been fully paid for it. I was supposed to direct the movie. I mean, it's a huge project. It's in turnaround, and no one can sell the thing because it's too expensive because they spent too much money on it so far. And now it sits at Fox, which is now owned by Disney.
Right.
So it's literally sitting at 2 studio shelves right now. That one is about a woman. It's about a young girl. It's sort of my, it's kind of my Suspiria, I guess you could say. It's a girls' school in Vermont, and a girl who, a young woman who's an orphan, who goes to that school. She's quite remarkable, and she's not sure, but maybe the school is run by witches. So Black Autumn is the first one. The second one is this movie, Gravity, which is about a woman who runs a crew of thieves. Men, all men and her, but she runs the crew. And it is about her coming into the country to get her, what was originally her brother, but ends up being her ex-lover. We changed it over time. To get her ex-lover out of trouble because he owes money to some people he can't owe money to. So he has to do this job. They do the job. Job goes wrong. She is put into a hotel that's famously known for people kind of hiding out in, even though it's a very high price, fancy hotel. She's put in the hotel. And on the night that she's waiting to get out of the country, to get the fuck out of there, because everything went tits up, on that night, she witnesses the murder of a prostitute.
Okay.
In the building, in the hotel. The people who did it, which was a professional hit squad of men, have killed this woman. See her seeing them.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the movie is the chase. That's it. Whole movie. And by the way, this woman can't go to the cops because she is wanted.
Right.
So she's got to deal with this on her own. She is truly in nothing but bra, panties, bathrobe. And there are 5 very serious cleaners coming to kill her. And it's just the chase. That's it. That's the whole movie. Okay.
Uh-huh.
By the way, that movie only happened because I worked for Brian De Palma for a period of time, and he taught me some things, and literally his lessons to me were what made me write that movie. The amount of times, and by the way, almost every studio in the industry had at one point optioned that movie. That movie was, everybody wanted that movie. At every studio. Well, can you make her a mom and she's fighting for her kid? No. My favorite was, can it be a guy? Can it just be a guy? This persisted. By the way, I wrote the film in 1995 with Deb. 1995. It took 10 days to write. One of the shortest writing schedules I've ever had, and truly like a first draft that like was ready to shoot. That movie got produced in 2015.
Wow.
Took 20 years to the day for it to come out. Okay. So it's called Momentum. Olga Kurylenko is the lead of it. James Purefoy, Morgan Freeman. It's the movie is good. It's not as good as it should have been. There are issues with it and again, I'm the writer of the movie, so I'm always going to say that. Right. That said, I spent 20 years saying, why can't a woman do the same shit that a man can do in a movie? Why?
Right.
Why? Yes, you have to cast the right woman. Like there are people, look, there's nothing I hate more than when I watch a movie, a thriller or a cop drama or something, and they've hired somebody who they hold a gun and you giggle. And you go, okay, come on. You've never held a gun in your life. And it looks like your hand is going to come off if you try to shoot that thing. Like it just doesn't work. Okay. You have to have, and that, by the way, has nothing to do with size. That has to do with prowess. That has to do with how you hold yourself. You have to cast it correctly, but why can't a woman be the woman with no name? Why can't a woman do what Clint Eastwood did?
Right.
It's offensive that women either have to be mommies or lesbians. That's another one that was, that was bandied about. To be tough and to be powerful. Like, what are we doing? My wife is one of the most powerful people I've ever known. She's as feminine as they come. Those things are not mutually exclusive. And so for me, I am all about women. I love writing movies about women, directing movies about women. You've seen Secret Santa. Secret Santa is so about the women in that movie. And my wife is fucking insane in that film.
Oh, I just want I will give a shout out to Deborah. I've seen her in interviews and we've collaborated. We were talking through emails for the documentary because I had an address change and everything.
Yeah,
such a sweetheart. But no offense, I'm saying this about your wife. What a fucking bitch she was in Secret Santa.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. And she was so good in that.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. She's ostensibly playing a version of my mother, so that's a Freudian nightmare right there. But my mom is over time become a very lovely woman. But it's no, Deborah's a badass, and again, Deborah's an actor. So look, I married an actor who I never looked at and went, you should play the mommy.
Right.
No, I looked at her and said, why don't you be the knife-wielding lunatic? There should be nothing. And by the way, this goes in the other direction too. That there's nothing that men shouldn't be allowed to do on screen as well. And a lot of times we don't allow the emotionality to be important for men, which is bullshit. Right. Or we try to somehow feminize them in order to allow them to have emotions, which is also bullshit.
Right.
So look, I am my philosophy on life and my philosophy on who I am as a person politically and all of it. Okay. Sure. Is simply this. We are all fucking equal. We all share the same fucking planet. If I'm going to make movies, I'm going to tell stories of the planet I live on, right? What the people that are in my view make up the world. So when people call, Jason Goes to Hell the most, homoerotic Friday the 13th movie, I mean, I wear it as a badge of honor. I'm like, fuck yeah, like that's awesome. I just love that anyone would say that. But it's not about that. It's about, like I said day one to Sean. I said, bro, look, let's take Friday the 13th. Let's take your movie, your original film. I said, you linger on Kevin Bacon's ass like it owes you money.
Bro, did we really need to have that shot of him in the Speedo and you see
forget about Bacon? The Speedo. But forget about the Speedo. I'm talking about when they're fucking. Like, there is so much of Bacon's ass. Now, by the way, it's a great ass. Well done. Like, yes, for anybody who enjoys that ass, you have literally the buffet of Kevin Bacon's butt. And by the way, right, that's my point. Like, are there naked girls? Of course, they're naked girls. Like, you gotta have both. You gotta have both. Give them both. Yep. Okay. For me, on Jason Goes to Hell, and I took so much shit from Sean over this. Like, it was a lot of pushback, and I kept looking at him go, and every time he'd say some shit to me, I'd go, Bacon's ass. We keep fighting about Bacon's ass. I said, whatever the female nudity is, I will make sure that there is equal amounts of male nudity in the movie on every fucking example. And I love that makes it homoerotic. It's like, oh my God. So I hired, really beautiful looking people who were just completely interesting and who were okay with doing the nudity, except one, which was a whole other fucking thing. And so I think sexuality has to be part of filmmaking. I hate, there's nothing I hate more than this.
Okay.
I hate this because it's inauthentic. And the minute it happens, I go, fuck this movie. It's bullshit. When I watch people have sex and the woman is wearing not a bra. I mean, bra is ridiculous too, but a shirt while having sex. Now, I'm not saying people don't have sex with their clothes on. Of course they do. The guy is completely fucking naked. The woman has a shirt on. Really?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah, when? Exactly.
The inauthenticity of that is such a fuck you to the audience. It's like, oh, she took her panties off, but not her shirt. And I'm not talking, listen, if somebody does one of the best shots ever put on film, and I'm literally saying ever put on film, is Alexandra Daddario in Texas Chainsaw when she is tied up and the shirt is on, right? And there's nothing under it. And every person in the audience, by the way, men and women are going like, when is that shirt going to fall off?
Yeah.
And like, now for me,
that's the strongest fucking tape in the world, dude.
Right? and I got to tell you something. There's very few things that I agree about with John Lucenhop. That is the one thing. She wanted to take her shirt off. Alexandra wanted her shirt off. By the way, she is lovely. God, is she a lovely woman. She is just fucking awesome. Terrific actor, smart lady, and just a lovely person. That shirt not coming off. Lucenhop going, no. We're going to keep it on you. That I go, well done, because all you want is for that shirt to come off, and it's not going to happen, right? But the forgive the term, but the titillation of that is so much sexier than if she'd just been naked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about a woman in a man's shirt on top of the guy with the shirt open, and you don't see everything, but there's a sexuality. That's different. That's different, man. My wife puts on one of my collared shirts. Oh, come on, dude. I'm like, hello.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything today. There's wonderfulness in sexuality where you're not giving away a lot of the nudity. I'm all for that. I'm all for things being exciting and amazing. I hate when stuff is just bullshit. When you see a scene like that, you just go, well, come on, man. I'm not a child. What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's just not real. It's not real.
We know how it works. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And look, when HBO, any episode of Game of Thrones, any episode of True Blood, when they're willing to go like, we're showing everything.
Yep.
And you go to a horror movie and the person's wearing a fucking tank top. What? Halter top? What? No, they're not. No, they're not. People, and again, I'm not saying everybody in the world has sex naked. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, when it's a writer in someone's contract, does anybody give it? Is there any stigma anymore to showing nudity? There is not.
Right.
There's not. So everybody got to cut it out. And again, I support any actor that does not want to do nudity. I will tell you this. I don't know how we got into nudity, but it's a good subject.
Hey, it's Sunday, why not?
Right? Exactly. It's the Lord's Day. Let's have as much nudity talk as possible. I think, I will tell you, I now shoot the nude stuff day one. Day one. Because if you said you're going to do it and you don't want to do
back out. You don't want them back out.
Cool. Then we're good. I'm going to get another actor on set. Thanks. That's it. That's the job. That's the actual job. That's the job. So I am all for everybody having their rights. You have the right to not do it. I have the right to not have you in my movie.
Correct.
And if that happens on day one, you can't put me over a barrel. You can't go, well, you've already shot 6 days and then you can't reshoot. No, I haven't. It's day one. Here's the other reason. So on Secret Santa, right? There's famously the one nude scene in that movie.
Yep.
And it is two beautiful, beautiful people, Nate and Michelle, who are just gorgeous. They're just gorgeous. And by the way, two of my best friends. Michelle is truly like my bestie. She's amazing. The two of them had been starving themselves for 6 weeks to do that role, right? To do the nude scene. We got to Big Bear. It wasn't even on the schedule. That scene was not even on the schedule because, again, these are my friends. They're not gonna fuck me over. They're gonna shoot the nude scene,
right? And
Michelle had been nude for me in Conspiracy before that, and so we got up there. I shot one scene with Deborah and Freddie in the kitchen. It's a one take scene where she's telling him that he'll serve the turkey when she says he'll serve the turkey, and he says, "Yes, ma'am." And really gives it to her. It's a great scene. So we shot that first, and then I turned and looked at Nate and Michelle, and they look beautiful. They trimmed down, both of them, and they're both skinny people to begin with. But they're going to be nude on camera. They were really body conscious.
Right.
I looked at them and I just went, "Hey, you guys want to be able to eat tonight?" I said, yeah. I said, let's go shoot your shit. Let's just get the nude scene out. Let's just do it. And they were like, really? I said, let's do it right now. Right now. And we ran to that bedroom. It was the two of them, myself, my cinematographer. That's it. No, oh, and I'm sorry. And one actor who was the thinnest person in the cast because they needed someone under the bed who could grab the keys at the end of the shot. That's it. That's the only people allowed in the room. And I have to tell you, I mean, first off, they did an incredible job and they were funny as hell. God, are they funny in that scene? And it's sexy and it's dirty and it's so naked. But I got to tell you, man, they were so thrilled that it was over and now they could eat. And those two motherfuckers, like, they probably gained 5 pounds each on the next 10 days of the movie.
I've been waiting for that turkey sandwich for months. That type of thing.
They were like, I want to eat. So that's the other reason to shoot day one. Like, why put somebody through more anxiety than they have to go through? You know? Anyway, again, I don't know how we because I was answering Tony's question about women in film and all that. Look, plain and simple, I don't think that women in film should be treated any differently than men in film or kids in film or races in film. I think if you're not telling authentic stories, if you're not telling authentic female stories, you are literally missing half of the human race. Well, you shouldn't be making movies then. Right. You shouldn't.
Yeah. I want to anyone listening or watching that haven't seen Secret Santa, it is on Tubi right now. I had the pleasure of, interviewing you with Patrick, and out of the kindness of your heart, you guys sent us the DVD. And first off, the DVD is amazing because the making of documentary is as long, if not a little longer, than the film itself.
No, it's 70 minutes. It's a little shorter. It's 20 minutes shorter. It's 70. Yeah, 71 minutes.
But I will just say this: I fell in love with that film from the very beginning because we'll go back to Delicatessen. The opening credits, how everyone's name turned into murder or death or stuff like that. It sets the tone. Yeah. And what I love is it is a very raunchy, very violent, at times disgusting fucking movie, but it feels like, as it opens up to me, it feels like it's a Hallmark movie.
That's the idea.
Those Hallmark Christmas movies, where everyone's all happy go lucky, and then when they drink the punch and the truth comes out. Yeah, this is a movie, and I'm not just saying this because Jason Goes to Hell and Kissing Your Butt. This is a movie that I always try to introduce to my friends who like. No offense if I use this word, schlocky at times. Sure. Horror films, especially around Christmas, because I have a friend that I collaborate with. We just did our favorite Christmas horror comedies, and we already had the list set, and we were already talking about 7 movies, so I couldn't add Secret Santa. But this is one I told her about, and I said, if you don't love this one, or at least have it appreciated it, and you don't laugh at a lot of this stuff and hate these people. It's not like, I hate these people so much I want them off the screen. It's I hate these people so much I can't wait till they get it. You know what I mean? There is a difference. Their comeuppance. There is a difference. I said I would be very surprised. Like I always say, I always go back to Friday the 13th. Melissa in part 7, evil rich bitch. Yeah. When she gets that axe to the head by Jason, that's a fist pump moment. Yes. This is just my opinion when it comes to the reboot. Trent is so over the top and hateful. Yes. When he finally gets it, I'm like, I'm just glad he's gone.
I'm just glad he's out of the movie.
Exactly. I'm glad he's gone. And there's a big difference. And that's what the characters are in Secret Santa. They're awful people for the most part. And when they get it, you're just like, yes. You know what I mean? It's a fist pump moment. So yeah.
Which was how it was designed. And look, it's also by the way, for anybody who happens to be watching this, who's in the Los Angeles area, we are doing this next Friday night, just a few days from now. The Gardena Cinema is showing Secret Santa on the big screen, and they're showing it in conjunction with Naughty or Nice: The Making of Secret Santa. So which will be the first time that's ever been screened. So both of those films will be showing in a double feature. I'm going to be there with cast and crew, and we're going to do a Q&A, and I'm signing and all that good stuff. So that's this Friday at 7:30 at the Gardena Cinema. So anybody who can come out to see it, because it's a different experience when you're in a crowd with that movie. Oh my God, people lose. And there is a character played by Drew Lynch, who is a stuttering comic who won. It was one of the winners of America's Got Talent several years ago. And Drew has got a character that in the middle of the movie, he has got a monologue in the film where he freaks out. In every country in the world where this movie played, and I'm telling you, every single time, there was an applause break in the middle of the movie. Didn't matter what language we were in. It was extraordinary. So there are things about this film that in an audience are so different and so communal and hilarious. So yeah, I recommend it to anybody who can get out there and check it out.
There is definitely a difference between watching a film by yourself than watching it with a group of people. It's a totally
especially a
different
comedy or a horror film. I mean, comedy and horror, they're built for an audience. They're not built to be watched alone.
Exactly. And that's why, I always go back to, Freddy versus Jason. I said, it might not be my favorite entry in either franchise, but it is my most favorite theater experience ever. Midnight opening night, sold out. The manager literally says, guys, sit next to each other. Every fucking ticket is gone. And people were cheering, when the girl's running, you hear the guy behind me, she's going to trip, she's going to trip, she's going to trip. When she trips, everyone's cheering. It's just a lot of fun. There's a big difference with, an audience. Dude. Like, I just took my daughter to see, Five Nights at Freddy's because, she's obsessed with it. I loved watching her get into
the movie. Absolutely.
And I love, there's a couple people like on the next aisle over. Obviously, they know the lore. They're adults, my age. And they're like, oh my God, that's from this game. That's from this game. And just seeing them get into it. I love people watching.
It's great.
You know what I mean? When it
Dude,
comes
it's great. But that only happens when you're an audience. I don't make TV movies. Okay, here's a great story. It's a great story. So I worked for Martin Scorsese on Goodfellas for a period of time.
Okay.
This is right when I was just finishing up college. And worked at a great company called R. Greenberg and Associates, where I worked with a lot of beautiful, brilliant filmmakers. So working with Scorsese, and this story comes up about Raging Bull. So Raging Bull was, the discovery of Joe Pesci. It was like the first movie he had done, or the first lead he had had. And so it's Joe Pesci and De Niro, and there's that incredible scene, the scene that everybody remembers. Did you fuck my wife? Did you fuck my wife? And it goes on forever. Did you fuck my wife? Did you fuck my wife? Almost like a Meisner exercise in the middle of the film, but it's fucking extraordinary. And Joe Pesci, you fucking maniac, you fucking, you can ask me that, you fucking me, you fuck my wife. So they shoot the scene, and it's breathtaking, and everybody on set knows it's breathtaking. And Scorsese's producer walks over and says, Marty, you got to shoot a television save. We're not going to be able to ADR that whole scene. You got to shoot it. You got to shoot a TV safe version of it. And he's sitting there. He's like, come on. And he's like, listen, you want a television sale? You want a regular TV sale? We got to have a TV safe. We got to have that. And so Scorsese's like, okay, all right. Yeah, no. You're right. We got to shoot a TV safe. All right. So he goes to reset. And just as that happens, Joe Pesci, his first movie, Joe Pesci walks behind Martin Scorsese and he says, funny, I didn't know Martin Scorsese made TV movies.
Wow.
And Scorsese said, fuck it, we're not doing that. I'm not shooting TV safe. And they moved on.
Good for him.
So to that end, I don't make TV movies. I love TV movies, by the way. I'm not denigrating them at all. It's just not the format that I had a roommate in college. His entire existence was he wanted to direct soap operas. Now, is that something I would ever want to do? Never in a million years. It's what he wanted to do. And I went, when he told me, I went, good for you, dude. Like, what a cool thing to want to be like an expert in. Like, that's awesome. Because somebody has to want to do that. Like, somebody has to be good at that, right? I never wanted to be that guy, right?
Correct.
Okay. That said, I make movies for movie theaters. I make movies for people to sit in the dark the way I sat in the dark as a kid watching Star Wars. I make movies so that you leave the world behind and you sit in a room with 1,000 strangers, all having the same dream at the same time. And look, I wrote a television series for the creators of Friends, right? For Kevin Bright. And it was a remarkable time. And during that time, I had to sit in on a lot of the tapings of the show Friends, right? And I saw some like classic episodes as they were shooting. It was amazing. Which, by the way, that show took so long to shoot would take almost 14 hours to get one of those in the can on a Friday on shoot day. Right. Because they rewrote every joke. Every single moment got rewritten. By the way, it's why the show is as good as it is.
Yeah.
Because they were crafting it. They had already written. They had the best writers in the business. They were writing all week. And then they had read-throughs and they rewrote and they fixed. And then they got to set. And if something didn't land the way it needed to land, they rewrote it again. Now, here's the thing. They would have to bring in 2 audiences during the day because after 7 hours, an audience is done. You're done. You're exhausted. So they would have that audience leave, have the next audience come in. Okay. The reason that they did all that rewriting was because the writers were listening to that audience. We're hearing where things landed. We're hearing what worked. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's why I make movies. Like, I want to hear an audience. That's why I make horror movies. That's why I make comedies. That's why they're my 2 favorite genres, that and musicals. Those are my 3. But those 2 genres depend on an audience reacting. When you're one of my happiest moments of my life was I'm there for the opening night of Texas Chainsaw, and a guy in the back of the theater, when Alexandra is running out of the house and she trips over the stairs, okay, this guy in the back of the theater goes, "Run, bitch!"
Yep.
And my audience erupted.
Yep.
And I just went, "Oh, yeah, man. Yeah,
that's what you want."
That's what the movie going experience is. My brother Kip to this day talks about it in the documentary, actually. He saw Jason Goes to Hell for the first time. It was the first time he'd ever seen the movie. He saw it opening night at the Criterion Center on 44th Street in Broadway in New York. Sold out audience, packed. And to this day, he says, "Adam, I don't think I heard one word of dialogue from the movie." Because the audience was so in it, was so cheering and talking and interacting with the movie. He said it was the most extraordinary experience I've ever had in my life. He's like, I couldn't believe how much they loved it, how much they were involved.
Exactly.
And that's what movies are about, man. That's our job.
Exactly. I mean, it makes me think of, I saw, Return of the King in theaters, and, a lot of people are, it's quiet unless the action's happening, but there's that one part where, I don't know if it was Sam or Frodo, the Shelob scene with the big giant spider. There's this great shot, regardless whatever hobbit we're looking at, it's pointing up above them, and you just see this giant spider just quietly go over them, and you just hear 2 guys in the background just go, "Oh, shit." And then everybody's laughing and applauding because that just makes it more fun.
Yes. We are in the business of entertaining people, and that really happens at its best when you're in a theater. I will tell you, I just had an experience just the other night. A movie that I was really suspect of when I saw the trailers for it. I just went, I don't know, man. I don't think this is going to be any good. And the filmmaker I have respect for, even though most of his work I find I'm slogging through it and watching it because I should watch it rather than I love watching it. But I just watched Caught Stealing, the new Darren Aronofsky movie.
Okay.
It just hit Netflix. I can't even believe I'm saying this, but I am going to say this. It's one of the best films of the year.
Really?
It's one of the best films of the year. It's fucking great. It's a fucking great movie. I couldn't believe how good it was. I was like, how did I stay away from this? Like, and by the way, the reviews have been excellent. No one saw the movie. No one saw the movie because the Darren Aronofsky crowd were going, "What is this?" And the crowd that likes the kind of movie that it's supposed to be from the trailer are going, "Darren Aronofsky?" So, and also that is the worst title I've ever heard. Caught Stealing. Stop. I couldn't remember the title. I could never remember that title. But I have to tell you, it is funny and brutal and smart and much more dangerous and violent than you ever think it's going to be. And I should have known that because it's Aronofsky. I should have been like, this is going to go places that it is so brutal. The movie is brutal. Something happens 30 minutes into that film, maybe even a little longer, maybe 45 minutes into the film, where my wife went, "Oh, I don't know if I can watch the rest of this."
Oh, wow.
She got so upset. She got upset. And it wasn't like gore or something like that. No. A turn had happened that bothered her so much. And it bothered me too, but it really upset her. And we kept watching. She watched to the end and she was like, "God, I'm so glad I stuck with this because it's excellent." And that turn mattered. It raised the stakes of the movie. It made the stakes feel much more personal. It is a really good movie, and I should have seen it in theater, and I didn't, and that sucks. It sucks because it would have been a great movie to see in a theater.
Yeah. Yeah. How are you on time? Because we're going to get to talking the documentary, but there's one more subject that I'd like to just bring up.
I got like about 20 more minutes, so
okay,
should be good.
All right. One thing I wanted to say is I was interested in you talking about Skeleton Crew, your production company, and from what I read is you were kind of inspired by the way Roger Corman did it, limited budget and also limited time frame to film. Has that ever hampered you or make you feel like, okay, we got to get this film done in 20 days? Have you ever felt like you shot yourself in your foot doing something
20
like that?
days. Look at you, 20 days. That's a luxurious time frame.
Or how about 13?
Here's the thing.
Yes.
I shot Secret Santa in 12 nights in one day.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Secret Santa was shot for $30,000. And it's a union movie. So everything can be done. You just have to know how to do it. Look, see, here's the thing about Skeleton Crew. So Skeleton Crew is 3 divisions. We've got our larger budget division, right, which we're doing bigger movies in. We've got our television division, which we've got a series that is, oh my God, literally I can end my career on this series. If this goes, I'm done.
Okay.
Because it's not going to get better. And then we've got our Where the Fuck Did Roger Corman Go division. And the idea behind it is simply that, Roger Corman could make a movie in 3 days.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking crazy. And some of those movies are not very good. But he could do it. He also gave young filmmakers a chance to make movies. Now, did they have a ton of money? No. And nor should they. A first-time filmmaker should not have a lot of money at their disposal. Nope. Look, I had $2.5 million to make Jason Goes to Hell, which when you look at it now, you go, shit, how was that shot on $2.5 million? But I will tell you, if someone had given me a bologna sandwich, $40 and some string, I would have made a movie.
Yeah.
The limitations are what make a filmmaker great. Knowing how to solve a problem makes a filmmaker great. It's easy. I remember when Die Hard 2 came out and people were like, oh my God, like the shot selection and blah, blah, blah. And I went, are you all out of your minds? He had 14 cameras. The shot selection? There was a shot selection. There was put a camera everywhere. So stop. Like, don't do that. It's easy to shoot spectacle with money. That's great. Here's what you can't shoot. Here's what money doesn't help when it comes to filmmaking. Storytelling. A good script. A good script costs nothing. Paper and ink costs nothing. So the thing that is the cheapest is the thing that people spend the least amount of time on. Okay, or energy for that matter. When we go to make a movie in Skeleton Crew, it is about how do we tell this story as economically as possible, but still tell the story that the filmmaker wants to tell. And the idea behind it is simply that, look, you're not going to have a lot of money to shoot your movie. And by the way, if you can somehow figure out to have more time, if you can figure that out, fuck yeah, take as long as you want.
Yeah.
But you don't get any more money.
True. Yeah. Good point.
So here's your bowl of soup. Here's your hot dog and your $20. Go make your film.
Yep.
And that's, but by the way, you make your film. You don't make some watered down bullshit version. You make your film. What I love about Secret Santa, why I'm such a champion of that movie, why it matters to me so much. One, I've never had a 13 better days in my life. Like I had more fun than anybody should be allowed to have making a movie. It was just a joy. I was also working with actors that I love and people that I'm crazy about. The other thing is that movie is 100% me. I can't blame it on anybody. I also know that nobody can take credit for anything. That's me.
Yeah.
So If you don't like it, cool, that's fine. Look, someone not liking Jason Goes to Hell, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, there's a lot of corporate stuff there. There's Sean, there's New Line, there's Paramount, there's all this stuff. When you look at Secret Santa, if there's something that offends you, I'm the one who offended you. Mm-hmm. That's me, right?
Yep.
If I made you laugh, I made you laugh. If I made you go, "Aw," I did that.
Yeah.
And there's a purity to that kind of filmmaking that I think is so much more interesting than so much of what we see. Look, you know what? And listen, there are guys out there. I look at, let's say, an Ari Aster or a Robert Eggers, and I go, and I'm going to take Nosferatu out of that for Robert Eggers because I still think there's a lot of machine behind that. But everything else, I look at those filmmakers. Now, by the way, I'm not a giant Ari Aster fan. Okay. But those two motherfuckers are using their voices. Yeah. Those are their voices. Okay. Yep. Yorgos Lanthimos, right? Yorgos Lanthimos, that's his voice. Whether you love it or hate it, doesn't matter. I love that those guys exist and that they are making films. Coralie, another example. Yep. Coralie is making movies that she wants to make and that she's telling her story. And for me, I would rather have 100 more Babadooks than I need one more Halloween.
Yeah.
We need more original voices. We need more of that. And that's what Skeleton Crew is about. Skeleton Crew is about what are the original voices. Look, you know, my buddy Bob Kurtzman, who the genius of K&B, who, you know, who's been one of my closest friends for the last 35 years. Bob and I are, we're working on a film together for Skeleton Crew right now that he'll be directing. Nice. That's just badass. My buddy John Esposito is doing a film for us as well, and it's going to be 100% his movie. Like there's no interference. There's just support. There's just support. Also, so the guy who edited this documentary is a guy named Eric Beetner. Eric Beetner has been my best friend since we were 14 years old. Eric is 10-time Emmy-nominated editor for The Amazing Race and for Fear Factor. Okay. Eric has written over 30 books now, full novels that are incredible. He's a fucking incredible writer. This guy wanted to be a director. He wanted to tell stories. He wanted to be a writer. He wanted to write movies. Nope. This movie is the first time that he's gotten to see his movie on his name on a big screen. It's the first time in his life. And it made him cry. And I was like, dude, this is just number one. I mean, he's cutting my next film, but he's in my next film, actually. He's a brilliant actor. But I was like, dude, what book of yours out of your 30-some books, what's the one book that you go, you know what, this would make a great movie and I can make it for nothing? Give me that book. Hand me that book. Nice. And let's make it happen. That's what Skeleton Crew is.
That's awesome.
That's the idea.
Well, speaking of people telling their stories, let's get to everyone telling their stories about Jason Goes to Hell. Hearts of Darkness is finally coming out. God damn you, COVID. It's finally coming out.
Yes, it is.
Did you, and again, not just, you know, putting on the knee pads for you because, you know, I'm huge into Jason Goes to Hell. You know, this actually has a huge following. Everybody is excited, and not just people that supported it through the campaign. Lots of people are waiting to see this thing finally come out.
Yeah.
Did you expect to be doing a documentary on this, and then did you expect the huge anticipation, the going to film festivals, all the positive? You know, because you, like you said, you know, I wish you have ass cancer and this and that when, you know, the YouTubers get you. How do you feel now when you see the anticipation, the positive reactions to the film festivals and people reaching out to you, being like, can you play it here? You know, I mean, you're known for like, oh, you hated this movie. Well, thanks. You still own it, right? Yeah. Well, you own the Blu-ray. Yeah. Thanks. You bought my pool. You know what I mean? So for the haters, did you ever expect to have like the positivity now after all that negativity for this film and for the documentary?
I did not. Look, I didn't expect it six years ago when this started. I did not want to make a documentary about Jason Goes to Hell. I had no interest.
Okay.
Because it had beaten me up for so long. I was so
Yes.
beaten up by the movie. And I'm very proud of the movie. I love the movie. I don't blame the movie.
Right.
It just got to a point where I'm like, oh fuck, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Yeah, I get it.
And then TJ Bowser and Corey Kaufman for my birthday, and they were fans. We weren't even friends at that point. They were fans. They made a Facebook page, Jason Goes to Hell, the final fan page. And they did it for my birthday. It was on my birthday.
Nice.
And I was like, guys, that's the sweetest thing ever. Like, that's really freaking cool. Thank you. Like, that's cool, right? And I thought there'd be like 5 or 6 guys on that page talking about Jason Goes to Hell for a few days, and then it would be over. By the end of the week, it had 2,000 people on it. I was like, wait, what? And within a couple of weeks, it was 5,000 people. I'm like, what is happening? Like, what? And then Corey and TJ started rallying everybody to get me to make a documentary. I was like, you motherfuckers, you Trojan horsed me. And it was at that point that I said, okay, I will make a documentary about this, but I ain't paying for it. So my company's not going to pay for this movie. No way. I said, I won't take money. I won't get paid. I will not take a salary, but you all have to pay for it. So we put up the Indiegogo campaign. It was like, great. If they want to make the movie, they're going to show me and they're going to put the money up. And dude, we got funded so fucking fast.
Oh, yeah.
It was like,
it was nuts.
I was like, I guess we're going to have to make this movie now. Oh, shit.
I didn't think anyone was going to fucking donate.
I really didn't, man. I was so. So look, when I go to make something, I don't care what the fuck it is. It's going to be the best that I can make it. It's going to, I'm going to put my blood, sweat, and tears into it. And it's why, look, when the campaign ended, oh God, December of 99, oh, sorry, of 2019. So December 2019, it ended. And by end of February, we had over 30 interviews in the can. So inside of 2 months.
In-person interviews.
In person.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no. And then March happened, 2020.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I could have gone and shot stuff virtually. Could have done that. Could have done Zoom. Could have done it. I went, no. We had been going into people's homes. We had been sitting with them and talking with them and giving them their environments. They could say whatever they wanted to. And look, I got to tell you, I flat out told people, don't kiss my ass. That's not what this is about. By the way, it's why I didn't direct. I'm not going to direct that movie. Right. I was a producer on the film, and I said, look, if you would prefer me not being there, I will not be there. I said, if you want me to be there and you want to tell me to fuck myself to my face, I'll do that too. Yeah. Like, I'm not afraid of any of it. So if you had a bad experience, I want to know. If you had a troubling experience, I want to know. If you had a great time, I want to know. Yeah. What was incredible was I didn't go to Cane's and I didn't go to Steven. We shot them day one. Right. Day 1 and 2, Steven and Kane. I didn't go to them, and they were both pissed at me that I didn't show up. Kane was so angry at me. He keeps calling me fuckhead on camera. And I got to tell you, Kane and I have really become close over the years. He's really a brother. What a beautiful person. I really do adore him. And he loves this movie. Oh my God, does he love the doc? He loves it. It was so sweet. I couldn't believe it. He saw it live with me and he was like, this is really good. What the hell? But they were pissed that I didn't show up. So I started coming to the interviews. And dude, I'm going to get emotional. No, it was the nicest thing that could have happened, man. Like, making this documentary was a real surprise because suddenly I'm seeing all of these beautiful artists, these amazing actors and crew people that missed me. Yeah. And that were like, man, it was one of the happiest times of my life. And it was one of the best jobs I've ever had. And it didn't feel like a job. And it was like going to camp and we were having such a good time.
That's one thing that I always see, like in these, like, was it Crystal Lake Memories or something like that? When it's your section, you always talk about you wanted to make it a fun situation. I mean, there's that picture of you doing like the air guitar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell people. You can say what you want about Jason Goes to Hell, but if you say that movie is not fun, I'm gonna call you on your shit.
Yeah, they're missing it. They're missing the point. They're missing the point. Look, I didn't want to make a documentary. I got stuck in COVID. I wouldn't bend on the quality of the movie. We didn't bend, and we ended up with something that's really such high quality. I also I had one director on the film at the beginning. We had creative differences. We parted ways. I ended up with another director, and that director is Michael Felsher.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, this guy will be a friend of mine for the rest of my life. This guy, I can't imagine making something where Michael isn't either involved in the actual movie that we're making, or at the very least, directing a documentary behind the scenes of the film that I'm making.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is, I fucking love this guy. He's like a brother to me. And that happened on this movie. So like everything I've ever made in my life, look, there's always going to be a couple people that we don't get along and it breaks up and it's bad. Okay. That's going to happen. That's any creative thing you go into, you're going to have those moments. But 95, 98% of the people I work with, they're friends for life. That's and awesome. We work together for forever. Dude, this is so crazy. Such a crazy thing. And by the way, God bless Facebook for this. Look, I know social media is the devil. I don't disagree. It is. But there are certain elements of it which were what it was intended for.
Yes.
Where suddenly there's this real bonus. Bro, I got to tell you, I had a class of about 500 people when I graduated. This is from high school. 300 of those people I'm actually close with. I don't mean I know them. I don't mean we know each other's names. I mean, I know who they are. That's an amazing thing. I look back at my life and I just go, wow, I have got a lot of friends. I got a lot of people that I really love. And I think that the documentary reflects that. It is a movie that is about a love affair with film. It's about being 23 and not knowing what the fuck you're doing. And doing it relatively well with really cool artists around you. Mm-hmm. It is a weirdly sweet, funny. It's very funny. The movie's really funny. And Bob Kurtzman's the funniest guy in the movie, which does not make sense because Bob is not the funniest guy I know. Bob is very true, and he is fucking hilarious in this movie. It's a movie about what it takes to make a movie and the joy that can be found in that. And also looking back on it with such fondness. Mm-hmm. So it's a really positive movie. It's a really funny movie. I will tell you this, a lot of the sort of controversial, more brutal stuff about the movie, and it's all there. There's touches of it in the film. The behind the scenes extras, all of the additional footage is where you're going to see more of that stuff. Mm-hmm. The entire package of the movie is over 4 hours long. Yeah. I mean, it's an enormous thing. It's enormous. The documentary itself is about 110 minutes, which is perfect. Mm-hmm. It's already longer than the original film, so that's silly. But it is, dude, I am very, very proud of what we've created. And Michael and Eric did an amazing job of putting this film together. Of really crafting a story that was worth telling. Mm-hmm. From a production standpoint, it's one of the things I'm most proud of producing. Because that has nothing to do with the fact that I'm the guy on the poster, which is so weird.
That artwork is amazing, dude. When you did that Facebook Live, and first off, I love how you were trying to figure out how to fucking work on Facebook Live when you revealed it. One of my favorite memories being in the chat, but that artwork is just amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, Schoenbach. Mark Schoenbach is he is a fucking badass. Like what an incredible thing he did for us, and what a great surprise to get from Michael. I had no idea he was doing it. And he did that before Michael was the distributor of the movie. Michael
really?
wasn't distributing the movie. He just did it. He was like, we need a better poster. I'm like, great. Okay. Oh my God, that's the poster. So no, Michael is Michael's a doll. That said, I think the fans are really gonna fucking dig it, man. And they have been digging it. Like every screening we've had of the movie has met with such joy and love. It's been fucking great. So no, did I expect all of that? No, I didn't. Did I know that I was not going to release a movie that wasn't a good movie? Yes, that I knew because I won't. I just won't do
it. That's awesome. Can you give an update? Like I know, when it's coming out, but can you give an update on when maybe the public would be able to get access to this?
So I can tell you this. So I literally just right before I went live with you, Michael Felsher was texting me about what's going on production wise. So all of the box art, there are a series. By the way, there is a series of 6 postcards that come in the package, that are 6 original pieces of art that I did.
Oh, okay.
From the film. And on the back is
Everyone
go
to Adam's. I don't mean to interrupt you. Go to Adam's Instagram. Some of your artwork is just amazing, dude. The sculptures. I didn't know you were into sculpting until this morning. But I'm not gonna lie. My favorite piece is it's Frankenberry taking out Count Chocula with a gun to the back of his head. For kids. So
it's actually it's in my serial killer collection. Which is sculpture and art. Actually, hold on. While you're here, I can show you.
Sure. Please do.
So this is he's a big boy. So let me see if I can get him on camera. There he is.
Holy shit!
This is Count High Fructosia. So.
Jesus.
And he is leather and armature and
oh my God, dude.
And sculpt, but also you see his ladies swimming in the milk and the Count Chocula cereal that's in there.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Each piece of the cereal is its own piece of sculpture. So the milk is poured resin. So that series is all based on the sugar cereals that we feed kids, and then we put a mascot on it to make it like appealing. And of course, these are literally drug dealers. And so the one that you like is called Frankenberry, and it is Frankenberry taking a hit out on Count Chocula, but it is a remake of the poster from Man Bites Dog, the French.
Ooh, that's a rough one too. Yeah. Good one, but there's something about the French. I'm not gonna lie, man.
They are an angry people. They are very angry.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off about the distribution, but the artwork is amazing. Thank you. Your heavy metal stuff. Oh my God!
Thanks, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, bravo. Thanks. Anyways, sorry.
So anyway, there are 6 postcards that have original art from me on them, and then on the back of each one of the postcards is a story that's not told in the doc. Oh, so cool. I wrote 6 little essays to go on those postcards. So those postcards, all of the physical media art has gone to the people who are making the discs. They are now packaging everything together, literally right now. Like I just heard that right now. So I am simply waiting for my box of 500 discs to show up to my house so that I can send them to the backers, right? Backers get them. I get the discs a month before they go live.
Yep.
So the backers can get them. I'm waiting for it right now. I'm praying I can get them out before Christmas. Like that's all I care about right now. That's
I got the email. I'm so excited.
I'm trying to make it happen. But again, I can't do shit until they're in my hands.
Exactly.
That said, everything, the labels are done, the packaging is done, everything's ready to rock. So once that happens, those will go out to the backers. And I will tell you, in the month of January, it will go live for people to buy it in the world. So awesome. and Synapse is doing worldwide distribution. So the discs are 0 region, so anybody can watch them. They can cross borders. It's a double disc set. It's so good, dude. It's really good. Even the art on the discs themselves. So there's this piece of art on the main disc, on the feature disc, On the extras disc, it's the same art, except it's a stick with a hot dog on it being pushed through a donut.
Yes. God bless you, man.
And it's Schoenbach. Schoenbach did that art.
I love it.
It's this one is no, we're all really proud. We actually we made a great feature documentary. It's really cool. And again, there are so many extras. Like I literally lost count of the number. We originally was going to be 13 extras of horror bullshit. It's way more. And there's even a sit down conversation between my editor, my best friend Eric, between Eric and I and Deborah. That's 35 minutes long on the disc, and it's just a sit down in my theater where I teach acting.
Oh, nice.
It's the three of us just talking, and you actually see clips from films that Eric and I made when we were 15 and 16 years old, respectively, in the Grand Union shopping market in Westport, Connecticut. Like there are clips from those movies that we unearthed that were like, oh shit, let's put that on there.
Wow.
So like it is really comprehensive in the story that it's telling.
That's awesome, dude. I can't wait, and don't feel bad if it doesn't happen by Christmas, because I say this, we've waited this long. We can wait
I appreciate that, longer. Dude. I appreciate it. I just want everybody to have it for Christmas. I just think it'd be a nice Christmas present for everybody to have. So that's
hey, it was supposed to come out in October. My birthday was October. Hey, if it's Christmas, it's a great Christmas present.
Yeah.
So
that's
Adam,
what I'm trying to make happen.
I got two last questions, and the answers are spitfire, so I won't keep you here. These two questions I always ask every one of my guests. I always say, okay, so you have the house to yourself. You have no pressure. You're not making a movie. You're not writing. You're not producing. You're not doing this. What does Adam Marcus do to chill and relax for a 48-hour weekend? If you can, what does Adam Marcus? There is no wrong answer, because I've had some very vulgar stuff. I've had some very boring stuff.
If there's lotion with lanolin, for goodness sake. No, dude. I mean, after that happens,
we got to start the day off right. So. Hey, I've had one guy. I'm not gonna lie. He says, well, one guy says I clean the house. Another guy said I jerk off to gay porn. So there is no wrong answer.
Well chosen. All right, good stuff. No, look, okay. Oh, God, my poor wife. I mean, I because I have to be honest. Dude,
she doesn't have to watch this part of the interview. It's all good.
No, she would watch it. She would watch it, and she would call me out if I bullshit, because I'm not going to.
Oh, okay.
My mom used to call me, and it goes back to that story we started with. My mom used to call me her little silkworm. The reason she said that is because she said there's never a second you're not creating something. You're always creating something. My house looks like a fucking warehouse. It's like a warehouse inside a museum. Right? Like it looks like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark in here, because I can't stop. I truly cannot stop creating. It's everywhere. And so for me, a day off for me includes me writing a little bit, because I have to. It absolutely has me sketching and drawing, It will probably see some sculpture or I'm doing a lot of 3D printing and sculpting now as well. So it'll see me doing a lot of that stuff. And while all of that is happening, I will be watching movies constantly. But dude, that's pretty much my everyday of my life anyway.
Hey, like I said, no wrong answer, brother.
Yeah. The only thing I do on very specific days is I go and teach. But the rest of it is always just creation. And so for me, a day off, it's funny. I had food poisoning last weekend.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. Deborah said she had never seen me that sick in my life. And I gotta tell you, I was in bed for 3 days solid. I was asleep for 2 of those days. Like I just couldn't. I would wake up just to. I lost 12 pounds in 4 days. Yeah, it was bad. was really bad. Deb wanted to take me to the hospital. And of course, because I'm a big dumb man, I'm like, oh, I don't need to go to a doctor. I'm an idiot. Anyway, that said, that's the closest thing I've come to a vacation, and I can't tell you.
Oh my God.
And here's where the proof is. Since then, I have slept in the last 4 days now. Now it's been 4 days since. I have slept collectively in those 4 days, maybe 12 hours total in 4 days. Because guess what? I don't need it. I'm so full up on sleep. I'm like, okay, what do I got to do now?
Yeah.
You know? Deb's loving it because I'm cleaning the house and writing scripts. And I'm like, I'm getting so much shit done. She's like, okay, go, baby, go.
You need to get food poisoning more often.
I'm telling you, man. It cleared the decks and it made me like rare to go. But yeah, that would be sort of what my days off are me creating stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Final question. I ask this to everybody. Again, no wrong answer. We never know. We're going to get a little morbid. We never know when our last day on Earth is. But let's just say if Adam Marcus knew that tomorrow was the day, what is Adam Marcus's final meal? There's no limitations. I once had a guy go appetizer, down to drinks. There's no limits. My friend Melissa, I told you I'm introducing to horror. She said her choice was macaroni and cheese and strawberry ice cream.
It's amazing.
So there is no wrong.
That's great.
One of my buddies said he'd be happy with stovetop stuffing. You know what I mean? That's it. And like a Dr. Pepper.
Because you're going to go for comfort food. Like you're going to, that's what you're going to do is like things that make you feel really good.
Yeah.
And a dinner at Lutece is not really like, what does that mean? For me, I mean, the three things that come into mind, and I probably have all three if I knew this was it, if I was going out.
Go for it.
There would definitely be sushi involved because I love sushi. Oh my God, fuck it.
My daughter's finally starting to get into it, so I'm like, good. Now we can have more at home.
So fucking good. I just wish it wasn't so expensive, but God, is it good. So I love me some sushi. I love a nice steak au poivre. So very thin cut of flank steak with a au poivre, a peppercorn sauce. Love that. Huge fan. But I have to tell you, the thing that makes me happiest, and it really does.
Go for it.
Oh, dude. A slice of New York pizza. Oh, man. I mean,
that's why it's called comfort food, dude.
Dude, but you know what? I mean, I've been all over the world, very luckily. I've seen incredible places. I've eaten amazing meals. There is something about just a slice, just a good fucking slice of New York pizza that you just go, nowhere in the world. I've eaten pizza in Italy. Not as good. Not as good. Wow. Sorry, kids. It's not. I've eaten Chicago deep dish, which is amazing. Not as good. There is something about a slice of New York that is amazing. And by the way, I would probably end it with a good bowl of ice cream. Ice cream is when it comes to desserts, I mean, it don't get much better.
You got a flavor of ice cream and a specific topping of pizza that you'd go for?
On the pizza, I'd probably just go pepperoni. Like that's it. Just cheese and pepperoni. That's it. I want to keep it nice and clean. When it comes to when it comes to ice cream, I do 3 scoops. I do a scoop of butter pecan, a scoop of pistachio, and what's wrong with me? Scoop of pistachio, scoop of butter pecan. Oh, and a scoop of rum raisin.
Oh,
those are the 3.
Awesome.
Funny thing. So I've never drank in my life. I don't drink. I've never drank.
Sure.
Never drank and never had any drugs of any kind. Not. Even when I've had medical stuff go on, I barely ever take anything for any kind of pain or anything like that. When I was 6, my mother took me to France for the first time.
Okay.
And it is a very involved story. I won't get into all of it, but basically we were going to rescue my foster brother, Stephen, from his birth father in France.
Okay.
It's literally what we went for. We went to kidnap my foster brother back back to the United States. So we're over there, and they used to have these things in France. They're not there anymore, but they were these incredible places called Le Drugstore. Le Drugstore. I swear to God, that was the name of it. And they had like 4 of them. There were a lot of them in Paris. And they
sounds like something out of a cartoon.
It really but by the way, it was like a cartoon. So these 2-story restaurants, and everything was done like an American ice cream parlor on the outside, but the interior was purely French and very elegant and extraordinary. So we went there. It was right around my birthday, and we went there, and they would give you these giant glasses that were what the sundaes were in. And when I say sundaes, we're talking like 7-8 scoops of ice cream, and I mean it was fucking crazy. So here's this 6-year-old kid with this sundae, and rum raisin was my favorite ice cream. So I wanted rum raisin. That's what I wanted, right? Rum raisin. So the waiter was like, of course, they bring us rum raisin. And they brought this thing, and it was in a snifter. It was in a giant brandy snifter of rum raisin. It had like, sauces and all this stuff. And I dive into this motherfucker, and I was as skinny as a rail. They called me string bean. And so it's like the skinny kid. I'm just I'm just in it, man. My head is in the fucking bowl. Yeah. That thing had about 4 shots of rum on it.
Oh no.
Dude, there was a fucked up little 6-year-old. Like,
you slept good that night.
Dude, I was gone. There was so much alcohol and sugar in that fucking bowl. It's insane. It's
no reason why.
Insane.
That's perfect reason.
My mother had no idea. My mom had no idea. She was horrified. She's like, "Oh no!" I mean, it was like, and I'm like, So yeah, there's my one drinking experience. There it is.
That's awesome. That's hilarious. Well, Adam, I've kept you for a long time, and again, I appreciate it.
This has been awesome. You're fantastic, and I'm happy to talk.
Again, thank you to everyone in the chat listening. I'm not going to do the whole spiel because we've been here long enough. But again, Adam, congratulations with the documentary. Fingers crossed December. But if we got to wait, we got to wait. Too fucking bad. That's what I say.
Appreciate that.
I am very happy for you now to see how elated you are, to see how well loved this product is. Yeah. I'm legitimately happy for you. And I appreciate you again, just sitting down for a little over 2 hours on a Sunday, the day of rest. You know what I mean? To just shoot the shit with.
I am literally leaving this to go finish the poster for the new movie that I'm hand painting. I'm heading off to go do that, and then come back here to write for the next 6-7 hours. So that is my Sunday. As I said, that's my happy place.
Yeah, bro, I'm in Illinois. I gotta go fucking shovel when we're done here.
I'm so sorry, dude.
That's okay. Sorry. I don't work tomorrow, so it's all good. But again, Adam, thank you for just sitting here shooting the shit. Good luck with the documentary. Good luck with all future projects. Awesome. And it's been a really, really fun time. Very eye-opening and inspiring. Awesome. And I wish you honestly nothing but the best, dude.
Thank you, brother. You too. All right.
All right. Appreciate it. All right. Take care.
Bye.
We'll see you in the next one.